The Silent Forest. Part 2. The Night Whispers. When darkness fell again, the forest didn't simply grow dark. It closed in. Ethan and Maya sat huddled beside the dead campfire, the cold seeping into their bones. The air had a strange, heavy taste, like metal and damp earth. No matter how many matches Ethan struck, the flames refused to catch. The wood hissed, soaked with unseen moisture. Somewhere beyond the mist, a branch snapped. Then another. Maya gripped Ethan's arm. "That's Rachel," she whispered. "It has to be." Ethan shook his head. "No, Rachel wouldn't be walking around without a flashlight." They both listened. The snapping stopped. Silence again. Total, crushing silence. And then faintly, from far away, came a voice. "Ethan!" It was Rachel. Soft, desperate. "Help me!" Maya surged to her feet, but Ethan grabbed her wrist. "No!" he hissed. "It's not her!" The voice came again, closer this time, echoing through the trees like wind through hollow pipes. "Please, I'm cold." The words weren't carried by air. They vibrated inside their skulls. Maya tore free and ran toward the sound. The search Ethan followed, crashing through the undergrowth. The forest shifted around him, trees twisting, roots crawling like serpents underfoot. "Maya!" he shouted, but the sound was swallowed before it left his lips. His flashlight flickered, revealing flashes of white fabric ahead, her jacket vanishing behind a cluster of birches. When he reached them, there was no one there, only footprints in the soil, and another set beside them, barefoot, smaller. Ethan backed away slowly, turning in a circle. The forest looked endless. No horizon, no stars, only black. Something moved between the trees, tall, thin, bending at impossible angles. Its head turned toward him, though he couldn't see a face. Just a hollow space where a face should be. The air around it shimmered. The silence deepened until Ethan's heartbeat was the only sound left in existence. Then, he heard breathing, not his own, right behind him. The tent. He ran until his legs gave out. Somehow, impossibly, he stumbled into the clearing where their camp had been. Only one tent remained, Maya's. The flap hung open, gently swaying. Inside, Maya sat cross-legged, staring at something in her lap. Her expression was empty, eyes glassy. "Maya!" Ethan gasped, crawling in beside her. "Where did you go?" She turned her head slowly. "He found me." Ethan froze. "Who?" Her lips twitched into a faint smile. "The listener." She held something out to him, a small black stone shaped like an ear. It pulsed faintly like a heartbeat. "He says he can bring Rachel back," Maya whispered, "but we have to be quiet." Her voice grew softer with each word until Ethan could barely hear her. Then she stopped speaking altogether, her mouth moving soundlessly. "Maya?" No reply. Her body shuddered once and went still. The whispering ground. Ethan stumbled out of the tent, sobbing. The forest floor vibrated under his hands. At first he thought it was an earthquake, but then he realized it was breathing. The ground itself exhaled, inhaled. All around him, faint whispers rose, thousands of them, weaving together into one long sigh. "Listen. Join. Hush!" He clapped his hands over his ears, but the voices came from inside. The black stone pulsed in Maya's tent, brighter and brighter until it split, spilling fine ash across the dirt. Faces began to appear in the soil, eyes opening, mouths forming. They weren't human anymore. They were echoes, trapped fragments of every sound the forest had ever consumed. Ethan screamed, and the forest devoured it. The awakening. He ran again. Hours, maybe minutes. It was impossible to tell. The forest never changed. Eventually, he collapsed against a fallen tree and realized there was light ahead. A faint orange glow. Hope flared in his chest. Maybe a fire. Maybe a road. Maybe people. He pushed through the last of the branches and froze. The glow came from candles, hundreds of them, arranged in a perfect circle around a clearing of smooth stone. In the center stood Rachel. She was barefoot, her hair tangled, her eyes wide and shining. "Rachel!" Ethan cried. She smiled. You came back. What happened? Where's Maya? Rachel tilted her head. She's listening now. The candles flickered. Behind Rachel, the air shimmered and split, revealing something vast and black, crawling from the earth. At first, Ethan thought it was shadow, but then it moved. Long limbs, a torso stretching endlessly, a head without features. It wasn't a creature. It was the absence of sound given form. Rachel spread her arms. He's here. The listener. The being towered over them, bending low, its faceless head hovering inches from Rachel's ear. She shivered, smiling in ecstasy. He says you can join us, she whispered. He only wants your voice. Ethan stumbled back. Rachel, you have to fight it. She laughed softly. Fight silence? The listener's hand reached out, long, thin fingers ending in sharp tips. It touched Rachel's throat. Her laughter cut off instantly, replaced by a faint hiss. A moment later, her lips began to move again, but no sound came. Instead, his voice filled the clearing, deep and resonant, speaking through her body. One more, then we rest. The ground cracked open beneath her feet. Rachel vanished into the pit. The candles extinguished all at once, plunging everything into darkness. The echo Ethan ran blind, tripping over roots, crashing through branches until he burst out onto the old road, the same one they'd driven in on days ago. The van was there. Its doors stood open. Inside, the camera lay on the seat, still recording. The screen showed a static-filled image of the forest, then faintly a voice, his own. Don't answer it. The video looped endlessly. Ethan stared at the trees beyond the road. They were moving, swaying without wind, leaning toward him like curious giants. From deep within came the whisper again. Ethan! He dropped the camera, stumbled into the van, slammed the doors and started the engine. But when the headlights flared, they illuminated not the road ahead, only trees. Thick, endless forest in every direction. He looked at the GPS. The screen was blank except for one word flashing repeatedly. Listen. The dream. When exhaustion finally took him, Ethan dreamed he was back at the campsite. The fire was burning. Maya and Rachel sat beside it, smiling. See, Maya said, it's not so bad. You just have to stop making noise. Rachel leaned forward. It's peaceful here. Ethan tried to speak, but no sound came. They both reached for him, placing fingers on his lips. Shh. The forest around them pulsed once, like a heartbeat, and everything went black. Morning. He woke to sunlight pouring through the windshield. The forest was gone. He was sitting in the driver's seat on an empty highway. No trees, no mist, no van but his own. For a moment, he thought he was free. Then he turned on the radio. Static. He twisted the dial. Static. And then faintly, a voice emerged through the noise. Ethan, come back. We're waiting. He froze. The voice was Maya's. It's quiet here. You'll love it. The radio hissed, then went silent. The last thing Ethan heard was the soft tap of something against the window. When he looked, there was a handprint on the glass. Small, bare. End of part 2. In the final part, the listener's gift. Ethan returns to the silent forest to destroy what remains. But silence itself may no longer be contained.